You ever lie in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, replaying moments from your past? Thinking about things you should have said, things you shouldn't have done, choices that felt right at the time, but now, they just haunt you. Regret is a weird thing. It sneaks up on you. You think you've moved on, that you're fine, but then some random thought, some old memory, pulls you back. And suddenly, it's like you're there again, reliving it. Feeling the same guilt, the same frustration. Wishing more than anything that you could go back and do it differently. But you can't. And that's the part that hurts the most. See, nobody ever teaches us how to deal with regret. We're taught how to set goals, how to move forward, how to keep pushing. But what about when you can't move forward? What about when you're stuck in the past, replaying your mistakes over and over, wishing you could rewrite the story? The truth is, you don't need to erase your past. You need to understand it. Regret doesn't exist just to make you feel bad. It exists to teach you something. But the problem? Most people never learn from it. They just sit with it. They let it eat away at them. They carry it like a weight, never realizing that it's not the regret itself that destroys them. It's the way they hold on to it. Because here's something you might not want to hear. Whatever happened, no amount of overthinking, no amount of self-blame, no amount of wishing can undo it. And yeah, maybe you screwed up. Maybe you hurt someone. Maybe you made the wrong call. But you cannot change it. The only thing you can change is what happens next. So let me ask you, what are you actually doing with your regret? Are you using it to grow, to understand yourself, to do better? Or are you just letting it replay in your mind, punishing yourself for something that no longer exists outside of your own memory? Because if it's the second one, you're not learning from your past, you're living in it. And the worst part, while you're stuck there, life is moving on without you. People always talk about forgiving others, but nobody talks about the hardest thing, forgiving yourself. And that's because self-forgiveness isn't about saying, it's fine, I did nothing wrong. It's about saying, I did mess up. But I am not that mistake. I am more than that moment. And I refuse to let it define me forever. You are not the person you were back then. The fact that you even feel regret means you've changed. You see things differently now, you've grown. And that's the point. Regret is just proof that you've evolved. But if you keep carrying it, if you keep defining yourself by your past, you'll never be able to fully step into your future. So here's the real question. How much longer are you going to let the past steal your present? Because time doesn't stop. It doesn't wait for you to be ready to let go. The more you dwell on what you can't change, the more you lose what you can. So maybe it's time to stop looking backward. Maybe it's time to accept that whatever happened, you don't have to forget it. You don't have to love it. But you do have to stop letting it control you. Because at some point, you have to decide. Are you going to keep punishing yourself for a past you can't fix? Or are you finally going to start living for a future you can?